How's it going, everyone? Business tip for today. One of the things I've dealt with many times and I have struggles with is time management. And I know that's a big deal with a lot of college students, a lot of people in general in America. And I feel like it's something that's an easy fix if you take the time and you actually spend the 2 to 3 minutes a day or at night to plan your day ahead. As an entrepreneur and as a business person dealing with multiple businesses and different opportunities I'm working on at the same time, one of the things that I've started implementing over the last few months is every evening or every morning when I wake up, before I start doing anything, before I check my email, before I send text messages, before I get ready, go get a shower, I plan my day out. I'm either on my phone right here, or I sit down and I'll do it on a piece of paper and I'll write down from the time I wake up to when I go to bed what I want to do, what I'm going to be working on specifically. Not just say I want to write an article. What is the article? Put an outline down. And if you have everything thought out, it will take a maximum of 5 minutes. I've never spent more than 5 minutes on this. And a day is only 16 hours in my mind. If not, it's 20 hours at the top end. So if you say 16 hours, maybe 12 hours, depending on what your daily schedule is. Maybe you already have a job, so that's something that's already planned out for you. So maybe it's only 4 hours when you get home every night. Write down what you want to do. So when I get up, I want to do the most important tasks. So it might be working on an ebook, writing a blog post, doing YouTube videos like I'm doing right now for everyone. But write down from 6 to 7 o'clock. I'm gonna do 2 YouTube videos, and I'm gonna talk about X topic and X topic. And if I have some subtopics in there, I'm gonna write those down. From 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, I'm gonna write a blog post. From 8 to 9 o'clock, I'm gonna go eat breakfast, and I'm going to do some reading. I'm gonna read the newspaper, or I'm gonna read the Wall Street Journal, or I'm gonna read Bloomberg. I'm gonna read 10 articles, and I want to read about 10 major articles, so I'm going to choose one section in every major section on maybe Reuters, so international news, US news, Latin America news, European news, Asia news, Africa news in Africa, and I'm going to just choose one article, read those, just see what the broad points are in the world, and I'm going to spend the next hour eating breakfast, catching up on the news, and get a world perspective, a global perspective of what is going on. 8 till 9, or 9 to 10, I'm going to do some research. I'm going to look up a problem that I'm having on Estabrooks.com. So maybe it's internet marketing, how to get more traffic to my site. I'm going to go on, I'm going to write down the sites that I want to look at, or I'm going to go through the articles that I've saved, that I've seen through Facebook and Twitter, or someone's emailed me, and I don't read those things right away. I set them aside. I put them in my favorites, or I put them in my folder for Michael S. Brooks to read later is with folder name, and I go in there, I'm going to read those articles, and when I read them, I'm going to take the notes, and I'm going to see what I can implement, what I've already tried, what I could do differently if I have tried something, and I'm going to read that information. I'm going to then write down, after I read the 1 or 2 articles or 3 articles, in that hour time span, how I'm going to implement those. And if you write down what you're going to implement, start working on that. Without implementation, reading something is absolutely worthless. It's great to have this knowledge, and it's great to continue to read, but as an entrepreneur, as a business person, you don't have time to sit there and read. You could analyze and paralysis yourself all day if you want, but at the end of the day, reading everything and not doing anything about it isn't going to get you any closer to your goal, and you're not going to know what actually is working and what's not working. So, reading about 20 steps ahead of where you are isn't going to help you today. It might help you in 20 steps, but you need to get to that 20th step before you can actually implement that information you're reading. So I like to keep a very narrow focus on what I'm reading and why it's going to help me. And, sometimes I might read a couple steps ahead because it might help me figure out what I want to do to get to that step, but don't read 10, 15 steps ahead. Have that game plan in your head. 11, 12, I'm going to go eat lunch. I'm going to make lunch, so maybe it's make a smoothie. And while I'm making that smoothie for myself, I'm going to record a new YouTube video for MaximumEvolution.com and, get that out there. Going to then render it while I'm eating lunch. I'm going to take the SD card out, put it in my computer, and I'm going to start editing it, edit out the beginning and end where I have to walk away from the camera. Going to put up my website. I'm going to put up the recipe. And I'm going to then maybe also start writing up the blog post for maximum-evolution.com. for that same recipe of the instructions, in case someone can't watch a YouTube video. Maybe they're at work, maybe their internet's not fast enough in the morning to watch something. Maybe they just want to read it quickly, see what it's about, and go, okay, this one's not for me, it's not my taste palette, it's not for my palate, and move on. 12 to 1, I'm going to answer emails. So it's 12 to 1, I'm going to sit there, I'm going to go open up my email account, which I keep closed all day. I see them coming in on my phone, but I like to keep my phone anyway, so I know things are coming in, but I don't check them, I don't answer them, I don't rush to my phone. At the end of the day, if something's super important, someone's going to call. And that's the time, if I see a number come in, I'll answer that phone, and I'll tell that person if I'm free, based off what they say, if I'm free or I have to call you back, I'm very busy at the moment. That sacrifice is necessary. I hear so many people, say, oh, I have to answer my phone. It could be super important. Guess what? Nothing is as important as what you need for yourself. If you can't sacrifice your time, if you're sacrificing your time for everyone else, you're not going to eventually get to your journey. You're not ignoring that person. You're just deciding that you need to focus on your goal until it's better available for you. Because guess what? That person's calling you when they're free, but if you're not free, then you're not helping either one, because you can't focus. For myself, I know I can't focus on a phone call. If I am working in the middle of a project, I want to get going. I want to write this information down. If I'm in the middle of a blog post, my thought process is very quick, it's very efficient, and I lose track of ideas very quickly, which is why I do videos. I do a lot of writing. I write notes down all the time. Always have a piece of paper around me or my phone, which I've touched on earlier videos to help you succeed. Anyway, so that's kind of just an idea of, for the first half of my day, of just write down what you want, be specific, and have that done, early in the day, so you can look every single hour and you can adjust it. I'm not saying you have to stick to that plan, but stick to it as best as you can, and don't make excuses of why you need to move the plan around. If you're wasting time, move on. Do the other goals that you have written down. Try to stick to that plan. And if you finish early, go back and fine-tune what you were working on earlier, or go start working on the next thing. So at the end of the day, you could finish early. If I finish early, that's my relaxation time. If I do everything I've wanted for the day, and I've done it to the perfection of what I expect of myself, to what my customers or what my viewers expect of me, then that's when I relax. And by relaxation, that might be, honestly, picking up a book, reading. Reading is such a vital piece as long as you implement, and as long as you're taking information. Ever since I was young, I've never been the type that reads just for fun. I don't read, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings. I don't get much out of it. I've always read autobiographies on business profiles, company profiles, how-tos. I've just always liked reading stuff that's informative. So I read a lot of nonfiction. I'm always buying a book. I try to finish a book at least every week, if not about every week and a half. And I think that's a very good thing to do, because you can always get information. And when I say I read a book in a week and a half, I don't necessarily mean I finish the book. Because if you feel like you've got what you wanted out of the book, it's not good to just read and feel like you're trying to just finish it, just to say you've actually finished. Eric Helms touched on this. I watched a video of his on his YouTube channel, and he talks about it also, which is he reads a book until he feels that he is mentally getting out what he wants, but after that he stops reading it. It doesn't mean he can't go back to that book if he feels that maybe there's something more there. But if there's chapters that are just very dry, that you don't feel like are benefiting you, I feel a lot of books today really drag on the details of how to do something, where you can read the general gist and you can get a lot of it out in like the first couple chapters, and the rest of it is just details after details that make it more complicated than it really needs to be of what they are trying to get across to you. Anyway, time management, make sure you have a nice layout every day. Put it in your phone, put it in your planner, on a piece of paper. It does not need to be complicated. You can just take a plain white sheet of paper, just put the hours of the day that you don't have scheduled out, and write everything down. And at the end of the day, it's going to save you time. You're going to feel more focused. You're going to feel like you aren't wasting anything. When you go back and look at your day, when the day's over, your schedule's done, you'll go, wow, I got all this done. And you're not going to sit there and go, what did I get accomplished today? And I hear so many people say that, I don't have enough time. I've run out of time. I'm too tired. I'm too busy. Well, at the end of the day, everyone's busy. Every entrepreneur, every millionaire, every billionaire out there is busy. But they make sure they focus on the major tasks at hand, and they don't waste their time doing the small tasks, the penny tasks. They do the dollar tasks, the tasks that are going to make you those big bucks. So that's my tip. Focus on time management. Give it a try for a week, and then give a comment below what you think of it. Do you have any other time management tips? Leave them below. Go over to michaelestabrooks.com, leave a comment, send me an email if you want me to talk about anything else. Like and subscribe to this video. Hope you enjoyed.